All right, we're going to be going over what I learned this week. Constitutional Law, Chapter 1, covered the Constitution, what shaped U.S. Constitution. A Constitution, at its core, is just an expression of a nation's values, fundamental beliefs, what kind of shapes the direction the nation's going to go. This can vary between, like, what shapes it varies between country and country, country to country. Countries like Islamic countries like Saudi Arabia, Iran have constitutions based upon religion and specifically the Quran for them. They're theocracies, and so their constitutions are greatly guided by their religious beliefs. The U.S. Constitution is more so guided by Enlightenment beliefs and philosophy, and also the mistreatment and tyranny they faced from Great Britain. Yeah. In this chapter 1 too, it kind of shows us, how we advanced the Articles of Confederation directly after the Revolutionary War, and then the failures of those, and kind of what happened with that, and that there's a bunch of disrest in the country. It was bringing the country together to some degree, but there was still problems with the Articles of Confederation. Mainly interstate problems. There were interstate trade wars going on, a lot of tensions rising. There was rebellions happening, and the founding fathers seemed it needed to revise these constitutional beliefs. So they sat down, had a meeting of the minds, some sorts, with all the key figures from the 13 original states. Rhode Island did not attend this convention, this Philadelphia convention. The start of the convention, it was held under wraps. It was very quiet. They didn't really want anybody knowing what was going on. There was a lot of worries from the public that they might be plotting to start a monarchy, kind of start taking the freedoms away from the people. But that wasn't the case at all. They wanted to just revamp our Constitution and redo it to where it benefited the people completely. With the revamping of the Articles of Confederation and turning it into the U.S. Constitution, the main things that were done was this push for a federalist kind of government with the separation of powers and the creation of the three branches of government. It also covered how these positions were going to be appointed, and also covered a lot of voting rights and how the voting was going to work for the positions that needed voting for them. Also in chapter 1, we covered judicial review, and judicial review is basically just interpreting the law, comparing the law with the Constitution, deciding if the law is constitutional, and if it's not constitutional, unacting the law or getting rid of it. Now jumping into chapter 2, constitutional law, it kind of just dives into federalism. Federalism is kind of made to combat tyranny, to not allow one person, one single form of government to have too much power over a country. And this is seen in the U.S. with the separation of powers. Separation between state and federal government, and then separation in the three branches of government. In chapter 2, we also go over checks and balances, and it's just a system used to not allow too much power to one branch of government. And kind of a quick little example of that is Congress is responsible for making laws. Then that's checked by the president, who can veto laws. And then that also can be checked by Congress, again, who can undo the veto with a 2/3 vote. The judiciary, it checks it all, where it could check the presidential power if he's overstepping his bounds, and it could check Congress if they're making laws unconstitutional. And that goes for the president as well. If he's overstepping his grounds constitutionally, they can check him and say, hey, this isn't allowed. You can't do this.